Alright, we're working on the four-link of the S10 here. Like I said in a previous video, when I lifted the truck up to put it under blocks, so it's easier to work on, the truck moved on me. So I had to do new lines, so I marked the center axles. You can see up here where the new mark is compared to the old one. And same thing back here. It moved too. The frame moved over. You can see the old mark on the floor and then the new marks. The rear stayed pretty much straight because it twisted a little bit here on this corner. And so we just did new measurements and put everything where it needs to be. Set the rear in there, made sure that it was the yoke was level. Once I did the yoke, I made sure it was level, and then I take some wooden shims and shove in the tire on both sides. That way it'll rock a little bit, but it always goes back to the same spot. And that way you don't have to worry about moving it too much. I mean, you don't want to put a lot of weight on it, but it'll stay where it's supposed to be. So, bring it around here. This is how you set your bars up. Go ahead and weld two of the bolts to the metal. How I did this is that way I don't burn my rubbers or stuff. Something to lift it up. That way I can tack it. And then you make all your bars the same length. And then I came back and I welded one of them to the axle. And now I have to make the front portion. I'm going to go ahead and put the other four-link piece together and put it on, welded on this side of the axle too. That way I can work on both horns at the same time, tack everything together, and then finish welding it. I put a pretty good weld on the hangers where I could get to it. I realized that I'm going to have to, this spring has got nice distance. This spring is way too thick, so I'm going to have to move this spring over. This is from a previous car, so I don't think they had to worry about the frame. I think it was wasn't a four-link car, it was I had regular spring hangers. So. Alright, I'll bring you back once I get the other side on and I figure out what I'm going to do to tie it into the frame. Alright, I want to bring you in for this step. I didn't show you it the last time. If you see there, this is where the rear has been narrowed. So what I'm trying to do is put my brackets for my four-link, one on each side of where it was welded together, and that'll help a good bit later on if you want to add a whole lot of power. And when you grind it down, you can't really see it. When you grind it down where you're welding, make sure you see nothing but metal. If there's a little tab that runs across the middle, grind that all the way down so there's nothing there. You know, it's all metal. That way when you're welding metal to metal. And then, alright, I just wanted to show you that little step as I was doing it. I thought about it. It's been a long time, so. Alright, I'll show you once I start on mounting the two front horns for everything. Alright, I wanted to bring you in to set your bar up before the 4-link. Yeah, how I do it is I'll take a piece of wire and I'll tie it so it's nice and tight, so it'll hold itself onto the rear, and then you can adjust where the front is by shims, of course, and that way you get a nice straight line on your frame. And make sure that this perch is straight up and down, and straight up and down on the other side too. Like, where's my level? Straight up and down this way, and straight up and down that way when you put it on. And then that's how you do the rear. You don't have to worry about finish welding. I double welded over there on the top. I just ran a single pass on this side. I'll run a double pass once I get the wheels off and can weld it. I just want to make sure none of that stuff moves, and I can take everything apart. And so now from this point we'll move up, and I'll figure out how I'm going to do attach the front to the bars, and I'll bring it back for that. Alright, I'm going to end this one with both of the 4 links are hooked to the rear. This one is sitting perfect. That one's not sitting too good. I had the heat moved it, so I had tied over with a wire, as you can see, but they're sitting where I want them. And then next I'm going to figure out what I want to do up here. I'm thinking about just cutting this frame off, since I know I'm going to redo the frame anyway. I'm thinking about just cutting it off and redoing it. I mean, if I leave what's there and tie it all in together, it'd be a lot stronger. But I'm debating that. But this is where we're going to end this one. And the 4-link is attached to the rear. The springs aren't attached yet. Still have to move one of the springs over. But this is where we're at, and I'll bring it back once I start tying everything together and figure out what I'm going to do with the rear frame, since I already know I'm going to change it.